Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going over my Medusumon deck profile that won me the store championship. So it's a little bit different than regular Medusumon decks that you've probably seen. And for those of you who've seen my previous ones, you might be reminded a little bit about what I'm playing. So we're going to do a little discussion as well, but we're starting off with 4 copies of the BT21 digimon, inheritable your turn when an opponent's security is removed from. One of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card, the Reptile or Dragonkin trait, with the cost reduced by 1. So this is the best egg. You don't play the other egg that released in one of the other sets. It's just not good. On the level 3s, we're going to be playing 4 copies of the BT21 Elizamon. On play reveal top 3, add 1 card with the Reptile or Dragonkin, and 1 card with the Liberator trait to the hand, return the rest to the bottom. Inheritable, if your opponent's security stack is removed from, gain a memory. So all of these Elizamons share that same exact inheritable, and there's a reason for it, is because it is incredibly good. This Elizamon from BT24, on play, trash 1 card in your hand with Reptile, Dragonkin, or Liberator trait to draw 2. Inheritable, same exact thing. We want that memory gain is the most important effect. Next, we are playing 3 copies of the EX11 Elizamon. When moving on play, one of your Digimon with the Reptile or Dragonkin trait gains Raid and plus 3000 DP. Same inheritable. I do not run Ukomon in this deck. I have never run Ukomon in this deck. I do not like playing Ukomon in Elizamon. I played this because of that DP buff. What does this card help you do? It helps with the Bears matchup, which I didn't know if it was a difficult matchup, to be fair, but one of the guys at the tournament that I played at kept saying that he wanted to play me because he had a good matchup into me and that he was going to beat me. And lo and behold, because it is a different deck and I play DP buff stuff, I was able to get a win out. So I'm very happy about that. But on to your level 4s, we're only playing 11 rookies. Level 4s, we are playing 3 copies of the BT21 Dimitrimon when digivolving. If you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play 1 Owen Dreadnought from your hand without paying the cost. Inheritable, same thing. Gain a memory, security stack is removed from. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of the BT24 Dimitrimon Blocker. All turns when any of your other Digimon with a Reptile or Dragonkin trait would leave the battle area by your opponent's effects. By returning this Digimon to the hand, they don't leave. Same inheritable. I honestly didn't even use that all turns effect a single time. And I played 13 games of Digimon. I played this out to help. It was in the Volcanus matchup where I made sure this was on the field as a one-of where they couldn't de-digivolve it. And then if they try to get rid of my stack, then I prevented it. But the inheritable is what we care about. Next, we are playing 2 copies of the BT24 and Cyclonemon, Rush, Raid, and Inheritable Raid. We just use this for a body that can play out. You can raid into a token, but the Rush body is the most important. Next, I am playing 2 copies, of the BT21 Cyclonemon. Security, at the end of the battle, you play this card without paying the cost. On play when digivolving, delete an opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. Inheritable plus 2k. This card was honestly, I'm going to put it right here, that is the MVP of my match. It's one of the best cards you can play in this deck. The security effect is great. Actually, the security effect lost me a game. It was my second matchup in a Bears, or my second game in a Bears. It played out as my second to last security, and since it got played out, Callusmon battled it and then trashed my final security. But this card, just being able to destroy the tokens, because sometimes you leave tokens on the field for your Medusumon to have that protection. There was a game I digivolved into a Cyclonemon on an egg, slammed this down, deleted a token, trash security, and then end of turn swung with Cyclone. This card is so good, and it is so underrated. Just being able to hit so many 4Ks, especially early game, is very important. I kept it in my deck. It is honestly, I value it the same amount as this next card, which is the BT24 Lamiamon. This is your main level 5. It is probably the best card in this deck. Cyclomon, I think, is a close second, at least to how much I value it. But hand main, if you've owned Dreadnought, by placing 1 Dimitrimon from the trash as any of your Elizamon's bottom Digivolution card, it ignores the Digivolution requirements and digivolves for a cost of 3. When digivolving, when attacking once per turn, your opponent places 1 card from their hand as the bottom security card, and then trash their top security. Inheritable, all turns when any of your opponent's security stack is removed from, play 1 5000 DP or lower Reptile, Dragonkin trait Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. So this Warper's insane. It is so good. The when digivolving when attacking effect is nice to just filter your opponent's hand. You can get rid of their entire hand if they're not doing it right. Like, A lot of Time Stranger decks will play that Asana where they trash 1 to draw 2. A lot of them trash a lot, and you can just whittle their hand size down a lot. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of the BT24 or BT21 Cyberdramon. On play when digivolving, if your opponent has 5 or fewer security cards, they place 1 card from their hand as the bottom security card, then trash their top. Inheritable plus 4K also very much came in handy in the Bears matchup because Talisman can get really big and he does disrupt your deck a good amount. But if you play a lot of DP buff, you can delete him and bottom deck him. So that's one of the reasons why we play that, but also just because it's the only other good level 5. Next, I am playing 4 copies of the EX11 Medusamon. Rush Progress when digivolving, end of attack. You may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much DP or less than this Digimon. Then, by returning 1 card from your opponent's trash at the bottom of the deck, you may play 1 Petrification token. And all turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area, by deleting a token, it doesn't leave. So this is an incredibly good card. It's got the Rush. The Rush is so strong. Being able to play something out if your opponent gives you a ton of memory, or if you have the setup, being able to play something out, warp into Lemiamon, and then get into Medusamon is so good. It is just so good. Last for the level 6s, we're playing 1 copy of the BT24 Medusamon. Raid Progress, piercing when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Then by returning 2 cards from their trash to the bottom of the deck, you may play 2 Petrification tokens to the field. After this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP for each of your opponent's Digimon until their turn ends. We play this as a 1-up. Honestly, you can OTK easier with this card, but the control and aggression with this is very good. Getting something to stick, I think, is better than the guaranteed, or not even guaranteed, but a little bit stronger of an OTK. And I only say that because this has raid on it, where you can raid into a token that you've played out. So that's the only reason why I say that, because you can get 2 security for the price of 1. But yeah, other than that, we are playing 2 copies of Styrakomon from BT24. Progress, Piercing, Blocker, Armor Purge. When digivolving, you may trash any one of your opponent's security cards. Then this Digimon may unsuspend all turns when any of your opponent's security stack is removed from. Delete one of their Digimon. All turns when any of your Reptile or Dragonkin trait Digimon would leave the battle area. By deleting one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, they don't leave. This Styrakomon is so good to close out games. I honestly, that all turns, I didn't use it a single time. The protection, there was never an opportunity to use it. I either finished the game with Styrakomon or I built up a board state and threatened this all turns. I didn't have to use it because we threatened the all turns, and even if they digivolved or did something, there was a time where my opponent tried to kill a Cyclonemon with a Great Grizzlymon block, and I had this Cyclonemon on the field that forced a swing, and I had Styrakomon, and they're like, oh, are you going to protect it with the all turns? And I was like, I'm not. And I didn't do that because if they, by chance, went into Marsmon battles this, then I protect it by deleting the Marsmon. If they go into Talisman, I'm losing both stacks anyways. It's not that big of a deal. I don't really care. It's, if they do Marsmon and they threaten that, I will take the chance. Absolutely take the chance. And I have the setup to come back from it. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of the BT21 Owen Dreadnought, start of your main phase. If your opponent is a Digimon, gain a memory. End of turn, by suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon with the Reptile or Dragonkin trait gains piercing for the turn, then that Digimon may attack. I dropped one of these for the event to add in a separate card literally the day before. I didn't get to practice at all. I was like, I'm just going to take Medusa. Ordered a card like Monday of that week. It came in. It was perfect. So playing 2 copies of that. And then we are playing 2 copies of the BT24 Owen Dreadnought, start of your main phase, by returning this Tamer to the bottom of the deck. You may play 1 Owen Dreadnought from your hand without paying the cost. Then if you don't have a Digimon, you may play 1 Elizamon from your trash without paying the cost. Your turn, when any of your Digimon digivolve into a Reptile or Dragonkin trait Digimon, by suspending this Tamer, that Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP and may attack. Again, we're playing DP buff, and these end of attack or digivolve attack is so good because you can combo stuff. If I've got a Medusamon with the egg inheritable, and I swing end of turn, or not end of turn, hold on, my brain is gone. Oh, I have this on the field, I digivolve in the Medusamon, I swing into security, Gigimon, go into the Styrakomon, and then we unsuspend, end of turn Owen, I can swing again. So, very strong stuff. Lastly, I'm playing 1 copy of the EX11 Owen Dreadnought. Memory setter, then all turns when your Digimon are played or digivolve, if any of them have the Reptile or Dragonkin trait, by suspending this Tamer, draw 1. After one of your Digimon with progress gets plus 3,000 for the turn. We do this for a consistent draw. and also the DP buff. I keep telling you, DP buff is needed in this format. Bears is very, very strong. Jupiter, very, very strong. Three Musketeers, very strong. And Volcanismon, very, very strong, which Volcanismon's a little bit more known for its DP buff. But other than that, option cards. 1 copy of Raging Serpentine. You can reduce the cost by 4 if they have 3 for your security. Main delete one of your opponent's Digimon on the highest DP, place it in the battle area. All turns, when your opponent's security stack is removed from delay, one of your Reptile Dragonkin trait Digimon may Digivolve into a Reptile Dragonkin trait card without paying the cost. Security, delete highest DP. I think this only came up once. It was in security. If it was beat break, this probably would have meant a little bit more, but that is that. Crimson Blaze. Reduce the memory cost by 1 for each of your opponent's Digimon in play. Then main delete all Digimon with 6,000 DP or less, and your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until their turn ends. So very good control. You can wipe out a ton of tokens, but now comes in some of the most important tech, which is the other option cards for setup. Offense training, the main, you reveal top 2, you take 1 red card, and then the delay, one of your red Digimon, or one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a red Digimon with the cost reduced by 2. We play 4 offense trainings for searching. Consistency with this deck is important, and memory control is important. Set yourself up before promoting. Make sure your opponent has a Digimon on the field or something in trash for you to be able to interact with it. If you get rid of their stuff first, you've got more control set up. Next, this is the card that came in the mail that I dropped an Owen for. Sprint Dash Training. While you don't have a Sprint Dash Training in the battle area, you can ignore the color requirements. We play 1 of this, so we can always play this for free or without paying the colors. Reveal top 2, you add 1 green or red, and then the delay is you can Digivolve into a green or red reduced by 2, so it's just another training. Next, we play 2 copies of Red Memory Boost, reveal top 4 of your deck, add 1 red Digimon card to the hand. Main, delay, you trash this to game 2. So we play Red Memory Boost over Wisteria because we typically play the Memory Boost when we are digging for Digimon. So I want to reveal as many cards as I can to get what I need because sure enough, this deck can brick. I did not brick, and there were a lot of times where I had a starting hand with no level 3. And lastly, 2 red Scramble. One of your Dread Digimon may Digivolve into a red Digimon with the cost reduced by 3. Place this in the battle area. The delay, if your opponent has a Digimon, take a red card from the trash, put it on top, or a red Digimon, and then you can play one with 2,000 DP or less out from your trash. This is the deck profile. Let's get into the discussion. All right, now let's talk about matchups, but not only matchups, the games that I just had and what I saw at this event. So, there were tons of Three Musketeers at this event. A lot of Volcanus, a little bit of Beat Break, not a ton, a good amount of Jupiter, and second place, top 4, Medusamon, Cross Hearts, which I don't have the deck list, but the Cross Hearts, that was crazy. He apparently was doing very, very well, so congratulations to him. Third place was Bears, and then fourth place was Three Musketeers, which is actually the player that I played against. First off, it was so awesome to meet all of you. A lot of people had come up to me and said, hey, are you Digital Mobsters? And I was like, I am Digital Mobsters. And I got to talk with them. I met Ant, who's in the Discord. He showed me his fully gold X Machinamon deck, which was gorgeous. It was super, super nice. So that was really, really cool to see. Other than that, I met a ton of other people, so thank you for coming up to me and saying hello and introducing yourself, including the people that I played against. So let's jump into matchups. My matchups were first round, Excel. I played against my friend Sammy. We got that 2-0. Second round was Volcanismon. Very talented player. It was a very, very good match. I got it 2-0. I haven't really played the Volcanismon matchup, and there was a good amount there. I didn't really play it. I didn't know the matchup. And I found out Medusamon does pretty well, and my opponent even said, he's like, oh, this is a bad matchup for me. As long as I put a token on the field, they can't reduce that play cost. I have to have more Digimon than my opponent for them to reduce Volcanismon's play cost. So I made it certain there was always 1 token on the field or 2 tokens on the field, and I kept my Digimon lower until it was time for me to try and rush into security. But progress is so, so important. It is a very good matchup, especially into a option-heavy format. So we played against Volcanismon. We got that 2-0. Shout out to that guy. He was awesome. Dude, those were super good games. And he was just a homie. He was an absolute homie. Game 3, we played against another Volcanismon, and they were actually friends. And yeah, we got it 2-0. It was kind of the same deal. This time, though, he played Minervamon and Apollomon as two others in there. And I think he played another, but I don't think I saw it. No, I did see it. I did. So it was Apollo, Minerva, and Volcanus. Those were the three. But it was typically just Volcanus. The other twos were one-ups. And yeah, that game, the game went well. I got that 2-0, and it was the same deal. I made sure option cards and rookies were not in the trash, and then I just kept the field bigger. So that was a really good game. Shout out to Angel. That was really, really fun. Round four, I played against Three Musketeers, and it was the same thing. I just kept getting rid of the option cards. The second match we had, he wiped out all of my security, and I was like, whoa. And he put me at 1, and I was still able to manage to come back from it, which I was really happy about. I think it was the turn after. I think I cleared his field. Turn after I was able to do stuff. But he played Chaos Triangular, which I'm not used to playing because I personally don't play that card, but he was playing it for the DP buff against bears. And so, again, my TP stuff really came in handy to buff up my Medusamons and be able to take out Beelstarmon. So I'm very happy about that. Next matchup, we played against Alteress. I know how to play against Alteress. You guys know I play Alteress. I absolutely love the deck, but I know how to play into it. So pretty much all I did was I kept my opponent at 1 memory, so they weren't able to do anything. If they don't have that Garurumon or the Greymon on the field where they cannot ping pong, if you choke them at 1 memory and they don't really have anything in the back, you do a lot. You do a lot. Or if you put them to 3 and they don't have a rookie on the field, they play the rookie, they digivolve for 2, they're not able to get and keep going. So memory manipulation is very, very important. You need to control the memory against Alteress, because if they ping pong, it's basically a loss. Unless they hit an option card in security. If you're playing against Three Musketeers, then you're pretty much golden, because it's very, very scary for a Crest Garurumon to swing into that security, because you can hit either the Blitzgrays, Cresses, they have evade though, but you know what I'm trying to say. And then final round was versus bears. Now, my opponent kept telling me he wanted to play against me because I was sat next to him, or not next to him, he sat next to my opponent in round 4, and he was hoping that I would play up against him because he had a good matchup in the bears. Or he had a good matchup in a Medusamon. That's what he kept saying, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. It's a little crazy that you're saying that to me. But first game, I was able to dominate pretty hard. Kept the field controlled. I was able to promote aggression and keep him from doing too much. It was pretty close, but their goal is to get into Callismon. Callismon interrupts a lot of your stuff. You can bottom deck Callismon before it can Fortitude. That's the only thing. So my DP buff is really beneficial. Now, I'm assuming this bear player is used to playing against a Medusamon deck that doesn't play the Memory Setter, nor plays the When Moving Elizamon. In addition to that, a lot of people also don't play the Cyclonemon anymore. So a big buff Callismon can really interrupt you because there's no interaction for you to do. Medusamon maybe gets to 16k when Callismon can consistently get to like 19. So it's pretty buffed up, but even then, when I have these on the field, I can get bigger than 19, and so a lot of it I was doing was able to bottom deck. In addition to that, a card that really, really helps is our BT24 Medusamon. Only thing on the field is a Calcismon, lowest DP. This one strikes it down. So very good about that. Second matchup, he got me, and he got me because, and he probably had another way to take me out. We have no idea. I think I put him at 1 memory. This is the card that lost me the game. Second to last security. He's got Calcismon and Bearmon on the field. Calcismon swings, hits this. It's forced to get played out, so this gets played out. Typically, you'd be like, oh, but that deletes the Bearmon. Nope. Calcismon battles this before the on-play activates. He trashed my final security, swung with a Bearmon. It was awesome. I was like, no! But third matchup, we got a hand that was a 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think it was like a Tamer. And I was like, do I mulligan this? And this has happened a couple times during the event. I was like, all I need is a 3. I'm going to believe in my deck, and I'm going to try and pull it. And we top decked the 3. So, and we go turn 2. We always choose turn 2 because we want that draw. Now, if we go turn 1, it's not that big of a deal, but turn 2, we want to draw. So we did that. I built Talemiamon in the back, and then I played a training next turn. And he didn't promote or anything. He played Hiroko. Then I played a training. He didn't do anything. Gave me a lot of memory, so I played a sprint dash training. And then I played a memory boost. Still didn't promote. And then I think he played something. And then, yeah, he Hiroko'd, and then he pushed out. And I was like, I'm going to take that thing down. Because that's what you need to do. If you're playing Medusumon, let them promote. Interact with their field. So he pushed out, got into a Marsmon, I think. Did some damage to my security. Like, he did, I think, 3 checks. My third hit was a Raging Serpentine in security. And I was like, oh, and he goes, dang. He still had something on the field. And I was like, all right. It was not big, though. I think it was like a Grizzlymon, because I think he played the option card that goes into security, a Paradise Coliseum. And so I promote, and from there, I just control the field. And it was 2 turns, I think. He got into another Calismon and Marsmon. Gave me a lot of memory for it, though. I didn't have a scramble, but I did have Lemiamon. I have no one on the field. Lemiamon comes out, or Elizamon, Lemiamon effect to force the Calismon to battle it. Deletes my guy. I do it again because I've got my memory boosts out. So I do it again, train into the Medusumon, and from there I was able to take game. And that was the play of, we Digivolved into a Cyclonemon on the field, and then I slammed down a Cyclonemon to delete a token, trash the final security, end of turn, swung for game. So overall, it was a really good matchup. He was a very good bear player. Very, very good bear player. So that's the matchups. A lot of fun. Everybody was very talented. All the people that I went against were very good players. A lot of them, it was their first regional event, and so shout out to you guys. But both Volcanismon players were incredible. The Alteras player was really good. Three Musketeers player was really good. Bearmon player, or the Bear player, was very, very good as well. So it was just overall a lot of fun, and it was wonderful meeting you guys in the community. There was people there from the Discord, which was really, really awesome. And yeah, so if you've made it to the end, thank you guys so, so much. And I'm happy that I could share the experience with you. But I'll see you guys in the next one.